I'm Mark Dresner, and welcome to Shopper Insider TV, delivering the insight scoop from Shopper Insight's leaders and experts in the field. Shopper Insider TV is brought to you by the Shopper Insights in Action Conference, championing the value of activating research at retail. Joining us today is Craig Geiger. He is the Director of Category Development and Shopper Insights for Barilla. Craig, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here, Mark. Thank you.
Barilla entered the U.S. about 14 years ago, and you've been part of the company for over 10 years now. Can you tell us a little bit about your current role and responsibilities, how the function has evolved, and so forth?
Yeah, I'm currently heading up the Category Development and Shopper Insights function. So that encompasses the traditional category management role as well as a relatively new foray into Shopper Insights over the last couple of years, and it's changed quite a bit. When I started 10 years ago, it was me running category management, and it was very traditional category management activities, working with our retailers and trying to build those partnerships. Well, as the industry has evolved and really the emphasis on shopper and shopper insights and shopper marketing, I now have responsibility for that as well. So we do research in three primary areas: custom, customer, as well as syndicated. And my team works all those to drive for Shopper Insights to drive the business.
Craig, a lot's changed in the industry over the time, as you've noted. What kinds of skills, expertise, background do you feel are important or necessary, even required nowadays, for a Shopper Insights function to be successful in moving the business objectives forward, and why do you think so?
Well, that's the exciting thing in our business right now, and I mean really exciting. If I think 10 years ago, this function called Shopper Insights and Insights in general and shopper marketing didn't even really exist. You had traditional market researchers that were primarily focused against the consumer, and of course you had the category management folks that were focused against the customer, but mostly the skill set was pulling data, trying to analyze that data to drive the business, and there wasn't a big emphasis on deep understanding or sales ability or communication. And what I mean by that is, today, if you're a researcher, in Shopper Insights especially, I'm looking for a skill set that not only has that analytical capability to be able to access the data, but the creative side and communication side to be able to sell the story all the way through to where the business takes place. That's a big change. In the past, we weren't really called upon to do that.
What are some of the challenges that you see in turning insights or driving action from insights?
When it comes to challenges, they really center around, externally the activation piece is still a challenge, and probably will be, as long as I'm in the industry, but getting better. But for instance, we could come up with an unbelievably strong insight about how a shopper shops a certain channel or store, but you still have to be able to activate that and reflect that at shelf. And there's a lot of operational challenges to that, so those still exist. Not only in proving that it's worthwhile to make a major change at retail, but then actually getting the arms and legs to create that change. So there's an external component that makes the activation of insights somewhat challenging. The other part of it is internal. If you have a traditional brand approach, driving your brand, sometimes convincing some of your internal folks that the shopper is truly the center of your universe can also be a challenge. So those two are probably the biggest challenges you still face in activating against Shopper Insights.
Seizing on that, tell me a little bit about your internal client relationships. How do you develop them? How do you manage them? How do you maintain them?
Well, I can tell you for our company, and we're very fortunate, we're a company that talks to each other. So we don't have some of the traditional silos you might see in many larger matrix organizations. We're a very cohesive group. So that's the disclaimer, that's the starting point. But beyond that, you have to be able to prove that what you are providing internally in Shopper Insights and externally to the customer truly drives the business. And so the return on investment is a big piece of building those relationships. Once you have that credibility and can show the return on investment, you start to get the ball rolling. And then the other part of it is it's still a personal business. So, I'm not an email phone guy. I'm a walk over to the office guy, and that works very effectively. It still does today. In the age of electronic delivery of everything, the written word is still important, but the spoken face-to-face word is even more important. And that's one of the ways we maintain relationships at Barilla. In fact, I have a coffee with Craig and some of my key internal customers on a regular basis, and we just talk the business that way. So very informal.
Great, great. What would you say is the most important lesson that you have learned in your role with regard to shopper insights?
That the sky's the limit when it comes to everything from how it can drive the business, but also how it can create opportunity. I'm frankly jealous of people getting into our industry today and the opportunities they're going to have, I think, for unbelievable careers in understanding who's buying the product and how they're using it. Those things didn't exist for me, and so I still find that unbelievably exciting. And I think the sky's the limit for Shopper Insights is really going to be the way it works in the industry for a very long time.
Great, Craig. You've given us a lot to chew on and think about here, and I love your last response. I think that we've got some exciting years ahead of us in the industry.
I truly believe that, Mark.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And on that note, that wraps this episode of the Shopper Insider. I'm Mark Dresner, and you just heard the Insight Scoop.